Welcome to the Diva D-Town. Welcome to the Diva D-Town, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia.
Well, hello. This is Diva Mia. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to rebuild after divorce. Divorce is not just separation of a relationship. It can weave its way into your money, into your identity, into your emotions, and even into motherhood. You need to have a recovery plan. Just like anything, when there's a natural disaster, you need a recovery plan. If your house burns down, you need a recovery plan. And a divorce breaks through all structures of your life, and you need a recovery plan. But it doesn't have to define your future, and it doesn't get to, because today we're going to discuss how to recover financially, emotionally from divorce so that you can move on and have a much better life. It is a process. It's not instant. No matter how fast you want to move it, no matter what happened in the divorce, it's going to be a process. What happens with divorce for a lot of women is that your income disappears overnight. You may have been in a business partner relationship with your spouse. You may have been a stay-at-home mom. You may have been a top producer in whatever industry you're in. And then divorce kind of pulls the rug out from under you, and you emotionally collapse for a little bit. What happens is then your assets, they're going to be divided. A lot of times they're unfairly divided, or they're divided under pressure. For instance, if your spouse cheated and they ripped your entire identity out from underneath you, you may push through a divorce in order to just move on, to get away from them. It happens where you have a business together and you have to abandon it and just to be done with the relationship. Or you have years of unpaid labor as a stay-at-home mom. Now you went uncompensated, and now you have to re-enter the workforce, and you don't have the skill set to get to the salary and the lifestyle that you are accustomed to. Society often expects women just to bounce back gracefully, to keep your head up and just within a couple months to be back to normal. I have had it even from friends where I was 3 months divorced and still in kind of a depressive state. I had a friend actually say, "When are you going to get over it? It's been 3 months already." Everybody heals at their own time, but you need to realize that you need to take your time and fully heal too. That can be challenging when you need to be the primary breadwinner for your family. So let's talk strategy, how to keep your dignity and your power, but not just survive. Survival is where you're going to be for a while, I will say. Most people fall back into a survival mode where you're just making it, or you're under what's making it. The truth is divorce is not just emotional, it is a full-on economic shock. Some of the problems happen is because you had shared income. If you had one household sharing both of your income, now you have two. Your expenses are going to go up immediately overnight, and you didn't necessarily get a raise. With the shared income loss, you're losing part of their income as well. Even if you were working full-time, you might lose your health insurance. Sometimes your retirement contributions will go down. If you had a business, your business equity might disappear. You may have an immediate hit to your financial situation, and as well as a credit standing may go down. I think a lot of people may stay in relationships because they don't want to go through all this, because once you lose your financial confidence, it takes a little bit to repair. It's a lot when you get, especially if you've been in a marriage or a relationship for a really long time. Once you're wrapped in tightly with them financially, it's difficult to get out. Many women will leave divorce asset poor, but they leave it responsibility rich, meaning they're taking care of the kids. They're still carrying all the mental load for the children all by themselves now. They have to take care of their schedules and have stability for the children all by themselves. Men do sometimes too, don't get me wrong. But whoever's the primary care provider, I don't care what the child support is, it's not enough. Because what happens is a lot of times the child support barely covers the children. Now you're covering your own mortgage, you're covering all your own expenses, and you don't have a partner to split it with. So what happens sometimes is women will fall back into relationships quickly in order to have that financial stability and not necessarily be ready for it. So what we're going to talk about is how to stabilize before you optimize your life and stabilize you so that you can grow and learn and live without your partner. Your first goal is to predictably come up with your budget. It's not to create extreme wealth, it's to create where you're at right now. Get a spreadsheet or a pen and paper or whatever you do and write down your monthly expenses. It may be that you have more monthly expenses than you have income, and that's okay. But write it down. If you're below survival, write down below survival mode. If you're at where all your expenses are paycheck to paycheck, you're at survival, meaning that every single dollar you have is going out to an expense. If you're at below survival, maybe you need to cut out a bunch of things, but you got to get clear and realistic about where you exist today. Hopefully you're at least survival. If not, we can work through that too. But you're going to have to do a lot of cutting. You're going to have to cut things that you don't need. Cut things that you may need that you just can't afford. Know exactly what your monthly numbers are and break it down on a monthly basis so you have your survival number. Your survival number should be where all of your minimum payments are made, your mortgage is paid, your insurance is paid, your electric bill is paid, you have enough money for food, you have enough money for clothing, you have enough money for the kids. That is your survival number. Survival number is very important to know because survival is not where you want to stay, but it's where you may be right now. And then separate your emotional spending from survival spending. Like you may have to cut out getting your nails done. You may have to cut out going for a massage. You may have to cut out vacations. You may have to cut out funds for your kids' college. While you're in survival mode, it's going to be rough. You're going to have to separate your emotion spending from survival spending because you have to pause your lifestyle upgrades until your income is steady. And build a 3-month calm fund. Even if it's small, you maybe only put $25 or $50 a month away, but you've got to put some money away. It's just there so you have some type of savings just in case. It's not about punishing yourself at this stage, even though it may feel like it because you're not able to live the lifestyle you used to have, but it's about regaining control of your life. The sooner we can get you full on survival, we can get you to move on to the next stage, which is stability. Once you have stability in your life, you can see where you were at in your marriage. That was probably a stability stage. At stability, you are paying all your bills. You're putting money away for savings. You're putting money away for retirement, for vacations, for the basics that you want to get back to kind of a lifestyle where you were at. Stability means that you're not struggling anymore. You're past survival and you can breathe a little bit better. Stability is, we want to get you there as quickly as possible. And then the next goal is to get you to success. Success is a level where you are putting enough away that you don't even have to think about money anymore. You have your children's colleges paid for, perhaps. You have your retirement funded. Success means you're moving on to a level of luxury for you, whatever that level is, where you can take 1 trip a year or 4 trips a year, where you can enjoy your hobbies fully. Success level is where you need to get to so that you can completely enjoy your existence. And if you want to go even further past success, you can go to significance where you're contributing to charities and things that you love and people that you love and helping taking care of other people. That's a significant level. But it's up to you to figure out where those levels are and how much you need to spend in each area. I like to use spreadsheets because then I can modify them quickly. But you can write it down on a piece of paper and a pen. Once you get your financial goals set and where you need to be financially, then you can actually break down what you need to do to get there. Part of getting there is reclaiming your identity. Most women, we lose more money than you think when you're getting divorced. Then we lose confidence in our ability to earn. What skills do you have that you got unpaid for during your marriage? Because maybe you were a stay-at-home mom. So is there any skills that you can do? Maybe you could do laundry. Maybe you could be a nanny. There's lots of different jobs out there for people that were married. Is there something you did on the computer? Did you take care of the books for the business? Were you an accountant? Income may have been postponed and you may have sacrificed a lot, but there's ways to get yourself back. Were you a lawyer before and now you want to go back into law? There's ways you can do that. And then you need to figure out what version of you did you silence to keep the peace? Because a lot of women, we stuff down our emotions and silence ourselves in order to keep the marriage happy. If you want to restart your career, go back to the people you worked with before. There's also part-time roles you could get. You could do work from home roles. You could do finance, operations, HR, marketing. There's tons of things you can do. And you may need to get a license. You may need to go back for certification. All of these things may need to happen in order for you to reclaim your life, but it is worth it. Your goal is to have income, speed, quickly, and sustainable. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can grow it over time, but make sure you get to stability as soon as you can. Many women remain financially entangled and emotionally entangled with their partners for a while. You have to remember that you need to close down your shared accounts. You got to rebuild your credit. And then you have to separate guilt from all your money decisions. Stop overgiving to other people out of fear or peacekeeping. Don't overgive to your partner and in order to get the divorce done and then feel like you're left with nothing. Because money clarity is emotional freedom. And the more clear you are on your money and what you need in order to survive, the more emotionally free you will be. The long-term wealth reset, once you stabilize, you can restart your retirement. Even if it's a small contribution every single month, you can restart it. And then start building assets that you control. This is your life. This is your future. Avoid structures where you have dependency on other people because you're going to need to be able to stand on your own feet. You're now the provider. You're now the leader of the family. Do it strategically and make sure that you grow through this process. This is where you regain your power. This is where you recover. This is where you take back your identity. It's an amazing time to be a woman when you go through a divorce because the amount of growth that's going to happen is amazing if you allow it. When you come out the other side, you'll look back and say, wow, I was more independent. I can take care of myself more than I thought before. Remember, when you lose a marriage, you also lose your identity, your daily routine, your activities. You might even lose friends and your social structure, how you hung out with people, even the family members on the other side. Then your future vision of where your life is going is going to completely get ripped out from underneath you. It may not have been a great future, but it was your future. Even if you weren't the happiest in your marriage, when everything shifts overnight, it will change your identity. In order to rebuild, you're going to have to start a new narrative. You're going to have to say, okay, that was my life, but now what do I choose for my future now? What do I choose for my current present now? It's okay to start over. It's okay to start over at 50 years old. It's okay to start over at 60. It's okay to start over at 70. Really, for the people out there in their 30s and 40s, it's okay. Because you get to release that shame and start over in a way you want and design your future the way you want to have it. You're going to grieve the dream for a little bit. You may grieve the person as well. You'll be sad because of what happened, whether it was planned or unplanned, or they cheated, or you just grew apart. You're going to grieve that person. You're going to grieve the dream, and it's okay. But you're going to have to allow anger to be released without building your life around it. Let it go, because the more angry you get, the more internally you will hurt your body internally. Healing isn't passive, it's active restructuring of your life. It takes work. It takes effort. You're going to have to make sure that you focus on your healing. A divorce coach is a good way to go. I hired a divorce coach after my divorce because it's not therapy, but they help you forward think from where you are now. What I look at therapy is good to say, okay, where are you at now? How did you get here? What can we fix from your past to make sure you don't get there or repeat the same problems in the future? Because everybody's at fault when there's a divorce, not just the person that cheats. Everybody's got some culpability in it. If you get divorced, a divorce coach will help you with your business planning. A divorce coach will help you reframe which direction you're going. It'll help you re-identify yourself from wife to ex-wife. It seems silly, but for a while, you'll still call the man your husband. If you're a man getting divorced, you'll still call it your wife. You need to set your financial and personal boundaries right away and stick to them, because I will say that you need to structure your life in a way that you can stand up to a lot that's going on. Post-divorce, your life strategy is going to be completely different. It's going to be a growth opportunity. It's going to be a learning opportunity, but you're just going to have to learn to get comfortable with change. You're going to have to embrace it. In fact, if it feels uncomfortable, if it's the change, it's probably something you need to learn. Don't repeat the same patterns. Don't repeat the same relationship patterns, or you're going to end up in the same place. If you're with a narcissist, don't go marry another narcissist. Maybe if you're a giver, go find a giver. If you're a taker, go find a taker. But if you're a giver, go find a giver. Build your life with confidence. But you're going to have to do it through extensive decision making, and you're going to have to face it every single day. You are the CEO of your life. And if you can get someone to coach you on how to structure your new life with a divorce coach, it's the way to go, because it'll jumpstart you in a way that you don't have to be lost anymore. It'll help reground you. I do think divorce coaching is extremely important. It's a good way to go to make sure that you move forward instead of getting stuck. Nobody wants to get stuck, because when you're stuck, you don't grow as much. It takes you longer to get to where you need to be. You may not have the time to move there. Now, I interviewed someone divorcing gracefully because I used her as my coach when I was going through my divorce, and it helped me get unstuck. You're going to have to restructure your life after divorce once it's final. This is usually the most overlooked phase because what happens is you have to intentionally redesign your schedule. That's the first thing you have to do. Go look at your schedule and structure it the way you want. Maybe you want to add some workouts in. Maybe you want to get back in shape. Maybe you want to spend more time with the kids and structure time with the kids so that you get that quality time. But restructure your schedule so that it works for you, it works for your family, and works going on into the future. You hopefully can have some support systems because if you are a single mom now, which is who I'm talking to, or even if you're just divorced and and you're an empty nester, you still need support systems to help you through. There's divorce groups that you can go to. There's friends. There's family. Hopefully you still have that you can talk to. But find someone to help support you so you don't feel lost. Your social circle's a great one, but sometimes people lose their social circle when they get divorced because maybe they move on or maybe they were friends with the husband more. So your social circle can help, but make sure you have a social circle. Maybe you need to create a new one. A lot of times your home environment may not be conducive to what you need. Maybe sell the house. Maybe you take the money and you move into an apartment. You have the money to pay for your living expenses. Maybe you sell the house and you just downsize. Or maybe you keep the house, but you get a roommate. Those are possible things too. Your relationship with yourself and time and how to rest is important as well. You need to take time to rest and recuperate once the divorce is final. You're going to be using your brain a lot to replan everything in your life. You don't want to recreate your old life with fewer resources because then you're just repeating the habits of the past. It's going to be a completely new life. It's going to reset or redo who you are as a person. So it's going to be new systems. And it's going to support your new life and your new growth. Now let's talk about the children because you're going to have to pick up the pieces for the children too. A lot of children need therapy after divorce. And the reason they need therapy is because they're going through it as much as you are. They need to have that support system. Children, they don't need perfection, but they do need consistency. They need emotional safety. You need to make them feel safe as well, as I know you're missing that safety that you used to have. What helps with children, though, is if you're honest. If there's a burden financially, you need to tell the children, look, we need to cut back. We need to slow our roll. We need to decrease what we're spending. Emotional steadiness is important. You don't have to overshare where the finances are, but you do need to say, look, we got divorced. Things are going to change a little bit. I need you guys to help me make sure that we don't overspend. Let them know right at the beginning. Just be honest. You don't have to give them a play-by-play breakdown of every single dollar, but just be honest. Even if you have child support, it may not cover the bills. It may not cover the things you need it to. I would say one of the biggest things for children is just to keep them consistent on their schedules and have predictable routines for them. That way they are not losing out on consistency because children thrive in consistency. When you model resilience and you don't act like a victim, they are going to pick up on that. They are going to see you as their hero. If you can show that you're tough and that you can persevere through anything, they will be more resilient as children as well, whether they're boys or girls. It's really quite interesting how single moms can really have a strong impact on their children. Yes, it's better if there's a happy, loving home with a man and a woman in the family. However, sometimes that doesn't work out that way. I think it's better sometimes just to show how resilient and strong you can be because then they pick up on that. Once they see you regain your confidence, it will give them confidence because children feel safer when their mother is capable and feels comfortable and confident of their abilities. You don't have to explain everything, but they will see it in you. They will see how much you trust yourself. The stability and self-trust will grow, and then it will grow in them too. That will make them have a more successful childhood, and they will be happier with their growth as well. Divorce doesn't mean that you failed at all. Divorce means that you closed a chapter. That chapter has ended. You are taking a step into the future with new priorities, you hopefully as a priority, and a new identity. You can rebuild your financial future stronger than it ever was when you were married because now it's you in charge. I think meditation is huge at this point too because the more you meditate and just get into you as a woman and into your femininity, the more financial opportunities you will find because we are blessed. Every single one of us are creators. We have the ability to create life And we have the ability to create businesses and run the businesses the right way. We have the ability to grow into our knowing. If you're not comfortable doing a business, you still have the ability to do exactly what you're doing. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. You've done a lot of laundry. You've done a lot of housekeeping. Maybe that's something you grow into. It's up to you. But rebuilding your finances is not being greedy. It's being practical. It's being responsible. It's being a leader in your own house. And you're going to be a leader now, no matter who you are. You need to rebuild emotionally as well because you're not weak. You just had a huge problem happen in your life. You just had a grief that is going to take a while to recover from. It doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you strong, and you'll recover faster than you realize. You got to rebuild your life, though, because it's not being selfish. It's being self-sustaining. Everything you do, your children will pick up on, and they will see how strong you are. They will see how much you've grown as a woman and as a mother. It's leadership. When you lead your household and when you lead your family, that leadership they will take and they will use it too. It's amazing how children change after a divorce. Sometimes children that were acting spoiled or entitled after a divorce, they turn into leaders themselves. You're not behind the eight ball. You're taking charge, and they will see that. You're rebuilding with wisdom you didn't have before. Everything you learn and every lesson you're going to pick up along the journey, even if it's a painful lesson, will help you grow as an individual. It's going to help you be the person you want to be. It's going to help you find the future that you want to find. I have faith that you can grow into your own future and into your own identity, maybe something that you should have been in the whole time that you were married. If you're rebuilding after divorce, this is the place for you. I hope that this helps you grow as an individual. I hope this helps you grow as a person, and that what you grow into is something that you can thrive with. Divorce coaching helps. This podcast should help a great deal. Once you get done emotionally growing and financially growing, you should be able to take your life to the next level. And then you're at stability, and from stability, you go to success. I wish you all success. I wish you the most success possible in your journey and in your new life, because what's happening now is painful, but it's also going to be a wonderful life lesson. If you take it as a life lesson and a learning experience and you heal, you will grow in a way that you never imagined and into something even better than you were before. This is Diva Mia. I hope you have a perfect week. I hope you make it as perfect as you possibly can, and that joy, peace, and love comes your way. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'd love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from the use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.